How's it going, everybody? So it's time to get down to the garage, start working on some stuff. Today I'm going to be working on a different style of drift compared to the hammer eye drift that I just made. This is going to be for Tomahawks. It's going to be a smaller Tomahawk drift because I did say that there was some stuff coming in the mail today on the EWS Blacksmithing page on Facebook. And I couldn't wait for him to show up. And I was like, well, I do need some stuff, so I'm going to go down to the garage, get that stuff started. And it's a big old box of the railroad spikes. Bought them off Amazon. I might start trying to put the links in the description so you guys can get stuff if you want to. And maybe as soon as I get some more subscribers and people who are interested. If you're interested, I'll send it to you if I don't put it in the description. But just so you guys know, I do have stock for the hammers. It's here. I do want to get a little bit more practice because, I mean, this was pretty cheap. It was like $12 before shipping, and it's enough for about 3 of the smaller hammers, and this is 1.5 inch 1045. So I am making tools to make hammers, and I do have the stuff to make hammers. I just want some more practice first. Hence the railroad spikes. I'm going to make a bunch of little tiny projects probably before I get to making the actual hammers themselves. And I also put on the Facebook page that I was going to kind of give some opinions on some tools to buy. So I went out and bought really cheap drill press, really cheap belt sander. If you already have a drill at home, I would recommend, instead of doing this setup where you buy a cheap of each, buy a better belt sander. It's like $200 on Amazon. It's a knife maker specific 2x42 inch belt sander with a grinder on the side. It looks so much better. I watched a bunch of videos on it. It seems like it's got really good reviews. And for what I spent on both these, I could have threw in another $30 and bought it. So, or $30-ish anyhow. So I really wish I would have, because these don't have the platens that are, pulled out away, so you can get really good plunge grinds on knives and stuff like that. On my personal Facebook page, I did post some pictures of a knife that I'd worked on, and it was just a stock removal. That's why it wasn't in videos. Pretty much all I did is cut most of it, and I hammered in the bevels in the forge. I do have knife videos coming at some point. Just didn't want it to be that one because it wasn't a lot of forging. And this is supposed to be about the blacksmithing forging aspect of making things. So definitely want to keep the things separate. But that's something I definitely learned about this. This will be good for working with wood and making the handles for the hammers and the tomahawks that are coming. So that'll be nice. But today's about that tomahawk drift. The tomahawk drift is going to be made almost the same way as the hammer eye drift, except for when I make it round, I'm going to forge it into that teardrop shape instead of the oval shape of the hammer eye drift. So since I already had the video on the hammer eye drift, I don't really want to go through and keep sending videos to you, or posting videos for you guys of me doing the same exact thing over and over and over again, unless that's something you guys want. But you gotta let me know. So if you go back and watch the hammer eye drift video, as soon as I go square octagon round, I round that bar off, come back to this video, and whatever the time is when the introduction part's over, let me know, and maybe I'll post it in the description, skip to this part or whatever. But that's where the actual drift is going to start taking the eye drop shape, and then you guys will be able to make them yourself. So the forging in this video is going to be a little bit shorter, but the process is pretty much the same as the hammer eye drift. So without any more further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get the forge lit and get everything started and ready to go. And I'll bring you back as soon as I get done rounding the bar. Alright guys, now just like the last video, that hammer I punch, it is now rounded. So if you want to see how I got to this part, check out my last video about making the hammer not the punch, hammer I drift. Sorry about that. So the drift, pretty much taper, make it round, so square, octagon round, to get it looking like this. Now I let it cool down because I was having issues with my video the last time. So you guys could see it a little bit better. Now, when I get this hot again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hammer, hit it at an angle, only one side, and that'll make this teardrop shaped. Normally, from what I could see on all the videos I watched, if you want to make an axe head drift, it's kind of the same concept, except for you go a lot thinner. I'm not 100% sure if you go both ways with that one. But I know with this one, you want it to be a friction fit, which is that's what I'm going for my Tomahawk. So this taper, this part that the Tomahawk is going to get driven to, that's rounded and then tear shaped, is going to be the ending shape of the actual handle when I make those. So it has to be really, really close when I make the handle to whatever shape I make this, because it needs to be a friction fit. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this back up, and I'll kind of show you guys what I'm doing. I'm going on from there. Alright, well, she's nice and hot again. I'm going to pick which side, which I think I'm going to do it. This is the way the shape of the back side of this bar is. It'll be easier to index this way. I'm just going to come in here, hold the bar up at the angle in which the drift is tapered, and try to only hit one side. Now I'll go ahead and straighten it up a little bit. Now next heat, now that I did a little bit on this side, I'll flip it over to this side, so I'm working that pinch down in the same spot. Alright, and you just got to figure out where you're at. This is the side I was on. I just want to break some of that scale off. Come to this other side. Try to keep your hammer the same angle on both sides. Straighten it up, and when I'm happy with the shape of this, I'll bring you guys back and kind of show you what it looks like. Alright guys, got her shaped the way I wanted, so now it's tapered this way and this way. So this should be like right around in here for the little Tomahawk. Should give me a nice little bit of an eye drop shape. I am going to take this to the grinder and clean it up, and I'll show you guys what this looks like at the end of the video, all cleaned up. Overall, wasn't that bad. Hammer eye drift video, that was pretty easy. This is just a little bit of a different step. Instead of flattening on, making it flat taper on both sides, you taper it at an angle. So, I mean, if you like that one, tried that, then you'll definitely like this. If you're wondering why it's kind of blackish right now, is because I went to shoot the video and my phone flipped like the last video. So I noticed it before I got too far and cleaned up. So come back to fix it. And I dipped it in oil to cool it off a little bit while I was waiting. So that's why it's black like that. But I'm going to go ahead and clean this end up, decide where I want to cut this off at. I'm pretty sure the hammer I drift, I should have left longer. My hand's going to be right next to the hot steel, even though it looks like there was a decent amount. A lot of the videos I've watched, I mean, their drifts are almost the length of this bar, so their hand isn't getting burnt right next to it. So that'll be a future problem. But for now, clean this up, show you guys at the end. Alright, there we go, guys. Got it all cleaned up. I did goof. It was kind of a little late, but I mean, I could fix it. But this taper, when I was fixing and trying to make it straight, I made it all on one side. So this will still work. I just gotta be careful when I'm using it, because if I think I'm straight, I might, it might not be straight. So I'm gonna have to kind of set it off to one side, pound it in. And they did show up just as I was getting ready to do the ending of the video. I double checked and Amazon said delivered. So I got 50 of these little things now. And that's what this is for. It'll be for driving down in there, and I can either make this the axe head and this a spike or whatever. I'm also going to make some knives out of these just for practice. These, it looks like it says HC, which means these are high carbon spikes. I haven't went through all of them to see if they all are, but they said brand new, never been used. So, they are super straight, super clean. There's no rust. A lot of the things that were comments on the seller said that they might be new, but they're all rusty and all that other stuff. And I didn't care really. I think it ended up being $1.50 a piece. And people are selling these things for ridiculous amounts of money. It's horrible. I guess it might be for how long it takes to make them into stuff, I guess. I don't know. Or putting high carbon bits, forge welding them in there, which we'll go over that stuff later on. But yeah, so that'll be used for that stuff. So that's going to be fun. If you liked it, let me know. If you guys would rather see all of it every time and not to cut out as much of the boring stuff, let me know. And as for the railroad spikes, I know I can make hooks out of them. Some of the people I know that have liked and subscribed have seen Black Bear Forge. Amazing blacksmith, really nice gentleman, does a bunch of cool stuff. You should definitely go check him out. But I seen him make a hook that one of his viewers sent to him. Thing was amazing. So I plan on doing some of those hooks. I plan on doing some knives, plan on doing some tomahawks. If you guys got any other ideas, I'd appreciate it. I did put something else up on the EWS blacksmithing page asking for help on that, so that'd be cool. But please like, subscribe, all that other stuff. I keep getting excited about 20 subscribers. Didn't even think I'd get that far. And then every time it says somebody subscribed, it still says 19. So I don't know if people are, unsubscribing or however, but it'd be really cool if you did. Let me know what you guys want to see with those. So, sweet. Thanks a lot.